Hello and welcome to Everyday Eternal number 123, your favorite, most deceptively named bi-weekly Legacy podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our brand new Patreon supporters, Colin Garassi, David Schaefer, and Hunter. If you want to support the running of the show directly, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. By the way, this is actually amazing. Colin is coming through us because he's got a bet running with leaving a Legacy host, Cherry, about, I think it's that they will not reprint reserved list cards through Secret Layer in the next 2 years. And I think that the bet started like a year ago. And it's going to be running for, I would guess, another year. And if Wizards doesn't reprint reserved list cards in Secret Layers for another year, apparently Cherry is supposed to, I don't know, give us a ton of money. And we are like totally uninvolved in the entire makeup of the bet, but
no, I want to be involved. I will do anything to prove Jerry wrong. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
That's why the podcast exists in the first place, or is that how it works?
Yep. When I joined this podcast, you were like, "Yeah, Callum, do you want to come and talk about Legacy?" It's like, my real goal is to just wind up Jerry any way I can and just say anything against him. So
isn't Cherry's like a nickname for Germans or something?
Jerry, old people maybe.
No, I thought like in World War II, you guys like called Germans cherries, but I could be totally
that
off.
does sound familiar now. I gotta say it wasn't in World War II when fighting Germans, but yeah.
Awesome, guys. Kai, how's it going? How has life in Berlin been? Have you made your peace with the city, or how will you survive?
Yo, what up, homies? Well, I've played Modern a few days ago for the first time after like a 4-year break. Just found this group and they're playing in this fancy ass cafe in
fancy places in Berlin. Seriously,
it's you kind of have to dig for them, but they do exist apparently, and I was proven right. So yeah, there's like this place. I think it was like 20 people max, and I had to build a Modern deck, and I literally didn't know anything about Modern, like current Modern post the Modern Horizons sets, and I basically took the deck that looked the most like Legacy-ish, which is unfortunately a Murktide deck, but hey, that's what I did.
I told you he's a Blue-Red Delver player, really.
I mean, that's his origin story. We talked about that last time, right? To me, Kai is still like the Canadian Threshold Mage.
So, well, there's like one thing. So, like, I really do like cantrips in general. Like, Ponder's Brainstorm, like, that's my jam, right? And if you have 2 Dragon Rage Channelers out and you cast a Consider in Modern, that's literally a DIY Ponder.
I guess.
So, I don't even want to like win all that much Modern. It's just, I want to cast good cantrips. That's literally all I want. And I considers with multiple Dragon Rage channels, like that's my jam. And,
you know what that reminds me of? That almost feels like you're in the tournament, but you appreciate the form, the art of it all that much. You don't care about winning. You're like the guy who enters like a martial arts tournament, and you only really care about like fighting the right way and in a beautiful style, and whether you win or not, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. It's all about like showing dominance. It's not even dominance. It's just like it's just like showing yourself. It's kind of like a fashion show for me. You just like show up and do your thing, and so it might work out, might not. And
let me get this right. Julian's like, you got to fight the right way. Kai's like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. Turn 1, Ragavan.
By the way, this is coming from the guy who once told me, I'm pretty sure that was you. You sat at home practicing how to properly tap your lands and your cards to make it look the most stylish way, right?
I do. It's a lot of practice. A lot of practice, like how to properly tap your cards and how to properly hand shuffle your. I think I've never mentioned this, but in Japanese there's a word for the sound it makes when you shuffle your card, when you flick the cards in your hand. There's like an actual word for that. It means shakapachi. And shaka means it comes from like to shake, and pachi is like the pachi, that sound it makes.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's like what we say in German, right? For kids when they go like clap, 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 pachi.
Yes, yeah. Like, call me a baby now. Okay, well, it's kind of close. And I do have super hard inner sleeves. They're actually like, it's like from a super small company in Japan. Like, they don't really do like mass production or anything like that. But I got a bunch of them, and they're so thick and hard that it is like, it makes a real hard and loud noise when you flicker them in your hand, and like it's a really high quality shakapachi, you know what I mean? Like that's I don't really care what the deck is, like the deck is whatever.
This is some brand we could establish. Everyday Eternal Shakapachi sleeves.
Nice.
This is the next step, man. Like, seriously, people would be all over that Shakapachi.
I mean, I am, yeah.
We'll have to figure out like a stylish way to westernize the spelling of it. But yeah, we'll find a way.
Like, dude, yeah, it's literally like a whole concert. It's like it's so loud and obnoxious almost, but you know, you love it.
Yeah, you show up to a tournament and you're wearing like, I don't know, noise-proof headsets or stuff just so you can concentrate.
Right.
How did you do in your modern event?
I finished third. It wasn't too bad. I had some weird like rag event mirrors, and I had to read so many cards. Oh my goodness! Like I felt really stupid a couple of times when like I played against this opponent on it was like blue white hammer I think, and I didn't know that it was hammer until I literally saw the hammer in game 2. In game 1, I just thought it's like a weird Memnite Stoneforge deck.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I had like terrible sideboarding, and like, you know, it just didn't side in like Engineered Explosives, did a bunch of mistakes, but apparently Merclite Region is just a house in Modern, and it's a little too powerful, I want to say. But again, I think Modern is in a cool shape, and people have been enjoying it, and that's good.
Yeah. I actually played Modern as well. It was 2 weeks ago, so a little bit further away. I actually played Blue White Hammer. Funny you mentioned that.
Oh, shit,
and
okay.
I did okay. I went 1-4. Room for improvement, let's say.
But what sound did your cards make as you shuffle them up?
Just gonna ask that.
I've got some cards next to me.
It sounds like masturbation, man.
Dude, that sounds terrible.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, that's what you tell your mother. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Not approved.
It was just really fun to play though. I do enjoy Modern as well, and yeah, it was one of those like tournaments where I had a bunch of game 3s, and it was very close games, and like just came like very close, interesting games, and just didn't break one way or another. Except for I played against Enchantress and got absolutely destroyed. Holy moly!
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
They play like 9 lives and Solemnity, and so Blue White Hammer is just a bunch of creatures that hit quite hard, and so you can't really beat that. I had a line where I had 1 Teferi Time Reveler in the main deck, and then you can activate the ability on Shadow Spear to take away hexproof from your opponent's permanents, and then you can Teferi try and bounce 9 lives, which is an enchantment with hexproof, and if it leaves play, that player loses the game. So that was a cool line, but then they gave it Shroud, and Shroud is not hexproof. I read the card 5 times to find out. But
wait,
yeah,
9 lives, that's the one with like the dogs on it, right?
Cats
Oh,
have 9
cats,
lives,
yeah,
Julian.
it's all the same.
Yeah, same thing.
Same
4
thing.
legs.
Yeah. Otherwise, I played a super fun deck at our weekly Legacy last night. Went 1-2. I know I'm on this podcast for my great results and my type play.
Are you ready though?
I've got to bring it. But
I think we finally added someone for GP to top 8 to the podcast now.
This is the only thing I'm good at in Magic. Yeah, so I mean, out of all my 2 tournaments, I won 2 matches. Big deal, I know. But I found my new kink. You know the Asmo card? Everyone listening, maybe you can pause it and try and say the card. Do you know the card I'm talking about?
Yeah, the one that has like 27,000 characters.
Yeah, Asmo, blah blah blah, Kuldakar.
Asmoranomardika Ice.
Isn't there a whole YouTube video dedicated to pronouncing it?
Yeah, there is. I've seen that. So this guy, you go and get your cookbook, and then cookbook can tap to discard a card to make a food, and you discard your Oval Chase Daredevil, or whatever it's called, to make foods. I realized, holy shit, making loads of artifacts is really good for a Kappa Cannoneer. And so, cool. And then Urza is also really good with loads of artifacts. And then the deck I played last night didn't have Urzas, and it only had 3 Kappa Cannoneers. But I played it a bit more online last night, and it's pretty cool. Like, you play your Kappa, and then you just like tap your cookbooks and put like 5 counters on it, and you go crazy and stuff. So
dude, that sounds so janky to me. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, you do. The thing is, you get to like Kappa's just good, and you can like play to the board and stuff, and you have enough blue cards for Force of Wills as well. And Asmo,
wait, we're talking about Legacy for a second. I thought we were like still in Modern.
No, Legacy for sure.
Oh yeah, you're 1 and 2, right? Go
yes,
ahead.
yeah. Thank you. And I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Like Asmo just guns down a bunch of creatures. Kappa comes down pretty fast. I don't know. It's pretty bad, but I found my new kink.
But the thing is, I've got kind of almost destroyed by that in a local tournament a couple of months ago. So
yeah, you played against like black-green food, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was actually kind of scary because I think he also had like a reanimator theme going on, so I had to like balance so many things, like the long game and the short, like quick knockout punch.
So I was playing 3 Unearths last night, and against D&T, they had like 2 Mother Runes and a Thalia quickly, and I just got to tap my what's it called, cookbook, discard Plague Engineer, then unearth it because they were porting and wasting me. It's like,
oh man, yeah, dude.
Anyway.
If this actually becomes a deck, like this is the kind of deck that people absolutely love, like all the hidden interactions. Like that's going from playing with, I don't know, what's the small scale thing that you play, like rock and triangle and ball, and then you graduate to Lego.
Yeah. I will add that the one I did like not great with last night, I also had like Goblin Welders in there, so Sundering Titan obviously had to be there. I had 1 Thopter, 1 Sword of the Meek. I had 2 Dak Fadens as well.
Are you sure you didn't like literally bring an EDH deck or something?
It was close.
That sounds so like Commander to me.
There was a lot of one-offs. Wait till you like get to Wishclaw Talisman, tap it, search for your 1 Sundering Titan, and then like weld it out as well. It's good.
Oh, guys, you got to play a lot of Magic. I think Kai, you also played some Commander. You told me, right? You found some people.
Yeah, I built a Commander after a 6-year break. Yeah. I finally got to get a deck together because apparently that's a big change, I think, because I think European people, like people in the States as well, like, you know, they really like jamming those Commander cards. And Commander, not really that popular in Japan. It is, but it's not as much because I think Japanese are more about those like 1 versus 1, like winning or losing, you know, deck improvement, blah blah blah, yada yada, and like winning tournaments, that kind of jam. And I feel like European people are more like, this is like more like the board game culture where like people, you know, just kind of get together, play D&D or like some I don't know, like Slivers of Catan or something like that. And you know, like Commander is more like that, where you just kind of do a bunch of stupid things, you know, and just like get weird and yeah. So I built a deck. It is Niv Mizzet Parun. People told me my deck's like a 7 out of 10. It's like, it doesn't have any.
I could have told you before you even told me what your deck was. Like literally every single deck in Commander is a 7 out of 10. That's the running joke, right?
Is that how it goes? Okay, like, well, I didn't know.
On April 1st, there was a website, and it pretended that you could put in your deck list, and it would calculate the power
That's
level.
brilliant.
Yeah, and it was hard-coded to always return a 7. So people would like post their deck list, it would return a 7, and everybody would think it was legit until you found out that like everybody got a 7 out of it.
I love that.
Cool.
That's a running joke, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I'm a basic bitch then. Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, the deck is like, dude, the deck's like whatever, but it has a lot of legacy-esque cards in it. Because dude, I'm kind of like tired of like reading too many cards in Commander. I can't remember all of them anyway, so like, you know, might as well just take all the cards in my deck that are like somewhat playable, like Modern Legacy. So it's basically like it's like a bunch of draw 7s, you know, like
I like the concept. Like some people, they build their deck with the cards they own. Kai builds his deck with the cards he remembers.
Yeah,
right,
dude.
That's how it works. Okay, cool. So, our show notes say that Callum had an encounter with a tiger, and I'm very liberally interpreting what he actually put there.
I was just making fun of you because tigers and you work with Africa.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess it works. Yeah, I'm working on my next trip to Kenya, which is probably gonna be for the first 2 or 3 weeks in June, and like last couple of days, basically. Every couple of hours, somebody in our Slack, like the company chat, was posting, dude, there's a snake over there. There's a snake over there. Ooh, I saw a big black snake over there. Oh, and there's like a poisonous snake. And there's like this and that. And I know it's supposed to be venomous, yada, yada. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go into snake hell, apparently, next month. I mean, that's pretty common because there's like lots of rains in Kenya. And usually like the rains, they bring about the snakes. I don't know how that works, but they fall from the sky.
Right. So if you see a snake on the streets, like how do you know that it's like, you know, it's like it has like poison or not? Like do you just know, or is there like an app and you can scan the snake or something?
I think you can tell from the shape of their head.
Oh yeah, don't go there. Like this is a rabbit hole of mine because there's so much bullshit going on about that. There's like shape of the eyes, shape of the head, and there's like 70% truth or something to all of that, but when it comes to like whether a snake is venomous or not, you really don't want to be caught in the like remaining 30%, right? So
I would just assume they're all venomous. It's probably safer.
That's probably like one of the safest way to do it. But yeah, there's a couple of nasty ones around, but those are rather rare. Like most of them are like these like I think people call them like twig snakes. Actually, twig snakes are poisonous. As I keep saying fucking poisonous. Anyway, we should move on to magic.
Venomous or poisonous?
Yeah, like it's, you know how the saying goes, right? If you eat it and you die, it's poisonous, and if it bites you and you die, then it's venomous.
That's a good one to remember.
Sick.
Just don't touch either of those things. Better advice.
Dude,
but
yeah, look, I think you kind of like doubled my knowledge about snakes just now. That's cool. Okay.
That's cool. Awesome. Moving on from snakes, we're going to move to birds. There's an insanely expensive bird in Legacy right now, or rather
Is it
magic.
poisonous or venomous?
I think it's neither, but I also don't want to be bitten by it.
I think it's really smart. Yeah.
Guys, did you see Ledger Shredder? Like, as of right now, it's 50 ticks sell price on Goatbots. Like, did you guys expect that? Like, we talked about that, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna rise, and I bought like a bunch at 4 ticks, and I sold like at 22, and the other ones at like 40, and now it's at 50 and keeps climbing. What the fuck?
It's amazing to see like a common as well, not a mythic, at these kind of prices.
Wait, a common? It's a rare.
Oh, it's rare. Sorry, like non, same thing.
Yeah.
Non-mythic. Oh, God.
Pretty much the same, right? Like to all us as like paupers, it's like if it's not mythic, it's common to me. I don't care.
Yeah, it's like looking at this trash. But this is pretty uncommon. That's what I was going for. Common, uncommon, rare. Yeah, nice.
Well, okay, go ahead.
No, I just worked it out myself. I'm totally with it. I promise. But it's pretty uncommon to see a rare like this kind of price and keep it for more than a week. Because we've talked about it in Legacy on the last podcast, and we do think there's potential, but like it's to be seen. It's okay, but it's played a decent amount in Modern. It's been played in like some main decks, some sideboards. People are trying it in Blue-Red Murktide and stuff, but it seems very, very good in like Pioneer or Historic and stuff online, or Standard probably. Apparently Standard is just very mid-range at the moment. I'm not really sure, but it's been played a fair bit, but I don't know. Again, being a rare, I don't see where it's played enough to kind of keep this price. But
well, I mean, this card is like widely played in like all sorts of formats. I've been playing a lot of Standard also recently. Like, I know, shame on me, I'm probably gonna lose half my friends here, but yes, I've been playing a bunch of Standard on Magic Arena lately, and I'm a big fan of there's like a blue-red deck I kind of like to play. And
you're just blue-red in every format apart from Dark Ritual.
Well, yes, and and the Ledger Shredder, I do believe that this current price spike is probably a little too much. It might, just kind of like go back to like to this original state maybe in a couple of days or weeks or so. But I think there's like a lot of hype about this card. I did a poll just this morning on Twitter, basically being like, hey, so like what card is like more fire? Is it Ledger Shredder or is it Dragonwave Channeler? And well, like 80% for Dragonwave Channeler, and I still kind of get it, but again, like people are still like pretty excited about like a card this versatile and like cool also in the new set.
Yeah, the versatility is what really sells that, right? Like 2 mana, immediately almost like 2/4, starts out as a 1/3, it's just like so cool, so slick.
It is. And also because like the expressive iteration is literally like it's legal in I think every single format right now, like in Standard, in Modern, in Pioneer, in Legacy, and I think like cards like expressive iteration really go like well together with Ledger Shredder in general, and I think there's like a super good fundamental core for like a potential good deck for Ledger Shredder, I think, in like multiple formats. And
so
yeah.
I'm comparing it to Ethereal Forager right now, just because of the price history. And I'm looking at Ethereal Forager when it came out. It also quickly spiked to 40, and it's also a rare, right? But it didn't have this additional promotional printing. But I never really know how much that actually affects the price in Magic Online.
Also,
I guess
I think it was a rare, but I think it was only in chests. It wasn't in a normal set.
It says right. Commander 22 rare C20, but yeah, like nobody really knows how these. I guess I don't know how that works. But what I'm saying is, so that one, it spiked at 40, rather about 40 as well. Then it went down to 25, and then it spiked up again all the way to 70 before like utterly declining. But I think that decline was more because of Endurance being printed in like most relevant formats.
Endurance and Murktide.
Yeah, I think it must have been like Murktide. I think Murktide team just way better than
yeah.
The whale, yeah.
That's my favorite argument whenever someone says like Murktide is just a generic beta. It's like, well, play Ethereal Forager over it then.
Yeah. By the way, I sold all my copies of Ethereal Forager. Like I was holding a couple of them because I was thinking, when Murktide gets banned, maybe we're gonna go to Forager again. But there's a very real chance we would instead go to Ledger Shredder.
You think Shredder's better than the whale?
It might be, yeah.
Maybe he's been the bird advisor in your little ear, the Satan on the
No,
shoulder.
I'm just saying like the Ledger Shredder is how would you put it? It's basically it has a higher floor but a lower ceiling. Actually, but the ceiling isn't that much lower. Whereas Forager is like it's harder to get going, and if it gets like killed, which like literally every removal spell in the entire format kills it, then you didn't really get anything out of it. Whereas Shredder, like you didn't like it was easier to cast. You probably got it down turn 2, and then like if you had a bobble, it probably like immediately triggers again. That's just like it's better as a whole.
I think like if you're actually if Mertz was banned and then you're trying to work out Ledger Shredder versus Ethereal Forager, it really to me boils down to what type of Delver is the best. Ethereal Forager plays really well with discard, like in Shadow decks with Thoughtseize and stuff. You want to proactively play cards, put them in your graveyard, and then you want cards to get back with it to play quickly as well. You want like cheap instances of sorceries, and Shadow is very low to the ground, and it always dies to Bolt. So if like there's not that many bolts and like Shadow is or something is good, then I think the Whale is probably better. But Shredder is better if like Blue-Red is good, because both of them are dying to Pyroblast, fine. But Ledger Shredder can grow out of bolt range quickly. It's not reliant on the graveyard, so you do like either could be either that, but Shadow is quite good against graveyard hate as a deck as well anyway, so that's fine. And yeah, it just like not dying to bolt is a pretty big game. So I think it's just gonna be better if Blue-Red Delver carries on being the main deck.
Cool. So we saw Shredder in action the other weekend during the Legacy Showcase Challenge, and I think we'll get to that deck list later on. But guys, when has been the last tournament where we saw like I want to say like 160 players, round about that, go in, and then we saw all creature Sliver come out of top and like a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. Like this has been the craziest high stakes tournament in years.
Dude, this is the weirdest top 8 I've ever seen. I think in the past 2 years, I want to say, I've never seen such a weird top 8. Especially like in a Legacies showcase. Isn't it like the biggest like online event ever? Like apart from like every
It pretty much is. Yeah, if you ask me like what was going to be in the top 8, it should be like 4 or 5 Blue-Red Delver, 1 or 2 Jeskai or Bant Controls, like 1 Moon Stompy, and then like maybe a lands player or the 8 mulch kind of thing.
Yeah, or like 1 Death and Taxes, sure, yeah.
Yeah. But no. We got Slivers, we got the boy Goblins, we got a Misthole Griffin and Delver. We got everything.
Yeah, I put the winning deck list at the very top so we can go over that, because all the glory to the winner, Twinless Twin, very much known Legacy Magic Online regular, first place. Do you actually know who that is?
Who is a guy called Max, I believe.
Okay, like it's so funny. Like this is the thing. You can ask Callum about literally any person who has ever touched a Magic card in any place of the world, and he will at least know what the first name is.
That's crazy. It's like the one Max. Yeah, cool.
Well, no, you learn a lot from Twitter. He's active on Twitter and stuff. I think it's him. Anyway, this is where I'm getting my twins mistaken, because there is a Japanese player who streams with I think twin_MTG in the name, so it gets a bit confusing with the twins.
Dude, yeah, that actually gets me all the time as well. Like there's too many similar, like Goblin Lecky 1, turn 1 Goblin Lecky, come on, like please.
Yes, that's my favorite joke. There's so many Goblin Lackeys. Goblin Lackey _1.
I remember we had one of them on the podcast, and actually we're going to talk about him a little later. Yeah. And I like up until he came on, I wasn't sure which one he was going to be. That's very unprofessional of me, I know.
But now he's cemented himself as the one. Goblin.
Yeah. He has taken leadership of the tribe, I want to say.
The Goblin King.
So yeah, first place, Twinless Twin, Max. That's a pretty stock, I want to say, Jeskai, how would you call it, like Hull Day Breacher list? What is it called here on Reddit? It's like Hull Day Control.
Yeah, like a combo control deck.
Yeah.
Pretty classic, I want to say. It's just like a bunch of 3-drops. Oh yeah, I think on my stream, I used to call this like a mono 3-drop deck. It's
That's
like
a pretty good way to put it.
It's like literally everything in the deck is like it's for free or it's a 3-drop. Like even like Snapcaster is technically a 3-drop, and like you have a couple of like Ponders and Prismatic Endings and Plows, but this deck really doesn't do anything on turn 2, I think.
I guess you can cycle your Timeless Dragon.
Removal.
Yeah. Actually, this is really annoying. I think we talked about that. I don't know whether we talked about it in our chat or on here, that like at 2 mana, like all these blue mid-range or control decks, they don't really get all that much. Like there was a time when people played Sylvan Library, and that's still like pretty popular. But I mean, not even like Stoneforge. That's not really a thing anymore. Like there's really nothing that these decks play on turn 2 that makes you go like, oh shit, they had it on curve.
Right.
Jeff White did he was playing similar Jeskai decks. This was quite a few months ago now, but he was made a bunch of comments saying he wanted to find a bridge card to bridge 1 to 3 and stuff. And instead of playing Fire and Ice, and it was actually, I tried it out in a few leagues and it was actually really quite good. The Fire was relevant for if you can take away Delirium against DRCs or play it early. Against combo decks, you just get to cycle Ice and tap down one of their lands. It's especially good against Urza's Saga to stop one of the tokens being made in the second turn. It was just this kind of versatile card where you can just cycle it if it's not good in the matchup. And sometimes, you can, I don't know, tap down a Marit Lage as well. It's just a very, it's not mana efficient, but it really pulled its weight when I tried it. It could be cool to try.
I kind of get the idea. It's like skipping, we're both going to skip our second turn, more or less,
exactly.
right? I think Jeff White has been wasn't he also the founder of the Stifle Uro Dreaded Arcanist Poke Pile, I think?
Yeah.
Because I think the reason why I played Stifle in that list was exactly the same reason to basically power out Uro or Arcanist a turn earlier. Maybe this is maybe this is something this deck needs to do. I was thinking about Stoneforge too, but then if you play Stoneforge on turn 2, then you have to activate Stoneforge on turn 3, and I think there are so many better things you can do on turn 3 than activating a Stoneforge Mystic and getting a mediocre Color Complete play. I think Teferi Time Raveler or Narset are just way more powerful than Color Complete. But
wait until they print a blue-white Strix, and then everything is perfect.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
That's a good point, though. Yeah, I this deck plays Volcanic Island and Pyroblast effects, but imagine this deck being Esper maybe. And Baleful Strix is such a good inclusion for this type of deck, I believe, because we got literally nothing going on turn 2.
Yeah. I guess the question is do you need more removal? I find because the deck isn't really giving them many kind of targets for lightning bolts or anything. If you play Strixes, they just accept the 2-for-1 and bolt it and then hit you with the big dragons. Always been my problem with the card against specifically Murktide, because it just hits you so hard and so fast.
Murktide is so stupid. It's just it makes everything pointless. I'm not even gonna go into that we talk. I even noticed it again when I played quite a bit on the last weekend. It's people tell me oh, it's an expressive iteration, and the card is almost. I don't even think it's as fast as Murktide, but it's very annoying to the kind of people who don't want that card played against them. But I'm the kind of guy who eventually tries to steer the game to a game state where if they get a 2-for-1, it doesn't matter because all my cards are just better than theirs. So yeah, get you a Lightning Bolt and a Ponder, I don't care. Get you a Lightning Bolt and a Force, I don't care. But if you have Murktide and I have 4 cards in hand that just can't beat Murktide, or maybe even can beat Murktide, but I can't beat it in time because of Force of Will and Murktide. You guys get the idea, right?
I think we get the idea. I think Julian's a bit tired of the dragon.
Murktide sucks. Murktide sucks.
yeah, let's get it going, man. The chant.
But anyway, there weren't actually that many in the top 8, which is cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Let's kill them all.
Should we talk about Slivers? Because holy shit. So Slivers, first of all, it's Daniel Nunes. He is famous for playing Slivers, and it's just what he does. And it's so cool to see someone stick to a deck consistently. And he's made a ton of changes, because I was pretty high on Slivers a couple of years ago, probably played it a bit. He's cut Force of Wills from the deck, first of all. So that's him being right, I guess my guess here is Delver is just clearly the deck to beat, or control decks and stuff, and he can just play fast, hard, to the board. Similar to the idea of the Black-White Humans deck, actually. You become the person giving them the threats to deal with, and make them answer it, basically. Other things, I don't remember there being 4 plated Slivers. I believe that's the white 1-drop that gives other Slivers +0, +1. Siphon Sliver is the lifelink one. The rest looks pretty standard, apart from one Unlicensed Hearse as well, which we'll talk about a bit more later, actually, because that card's doing very well.
I think the plated Sliver is smart in the way that's just another thing that you can do against, say, Plague Engineer or mass removal effects.
Exactly.
If you get plated Sliver down in the first, I guess people wouldn't even bring in End the Festivities against Slivers anyway. But I played the deck a little bit over the last decade at this point, even more than a decade. And the 1 point of toughness actually matters quite a bit. There's, I think, other options that you can use. I think there's one that gives you Slivers. Oh, what's it? Is it banding? No, it's not banding.
You want to give your Slivers banding?
Flanking. That's one that gives you.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
On this topic, I actually played against him like when Bugger Lurun was getting quite popular a year or so ago, and I remember having 3 plague engineers in play, and I think losing that game because he just had all the lords and they were just still too big. Like, yeah,
it happens against Merfolk like every once in a while. And then like you find like a single removal spell, and it's like the Wrath of God on their entire
House
board.
of Cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about the deck? Like it like you said, it's like I don't even want Force of Will. I'm just literally gonna grind you out because Crystalline Sliver and Hibernation Sliver plus like Vile, it's like the worst nightmare of every control deck, right? Like what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah,
and
touchy.
Yeah, no touchy touch. and you already mentioned Murktide, Callum, and I think Siphon Sliver in a way almost is a way to combat Murktide, right?
Yeah.
Because like all your slivers gain lifelink, and that means you're very, very often just gonna be straight up racing.
Oh yeah, you'll like attack all. They'll like have a Murktide block one of them. Hibernation Sliver is just like the hardest card to play around. It's just like hair ripping out, frustratingly hard to play against. Hibernation Sliver, for anyone doesn't know, is 2 mana, a black and a blue for a 2/2. All your slivers can pay 2 life to bounce the sliver back to your hand. So you like attack all out, probably not with Siphon Sliver. You're going to hit them for 10, you'll gain 10 plus, and then like you just get hit back and it's fine. You've got lethal next turn. Or like if you have the vials stuck on 2, they're never really getting through it. It's just incredibly hard to fight against.
Yeah, especially in combination with Cavern or Souls too.
Yeah. Cavern and Vial are just like, you're never killing my stuff, and you just grind them out.
This deck is everything Merfolk ever wanted to be, just better.
In just all the colors. It's pretty cool to see the secluded courtyards in the mana base as well. This is like the upgraded unclaimed territory, basically, and no ancient ziggurats, which is the ancient ziggurat was the one that like can cast tap for any color for creatures, but you couldn't cast Vial with it. Now secluded courtyard is the ETB, name a creature type, and you can tap for any colors for that. But also tap for colorless.
I was going to say it also adds colorless, right?
Yeah,
that's the big upgrade.
Yeah.
I wonder how often you get to use the Sliver Hive. That's the most flavorful card.
Probably, yeah. No idea. I love some of the sideboard stuff as well. 2 Maids of Ith in the sideboard. That's must be like an answer to Merit Lage, I think.
I was just gonna say, or it can also be like a tool to fight those like racing games where like you attack with everything and the sliver that gets blocked, you can maze it,
Yeah.
And they won't, or like maybe you can like block maze something, or like turn off life gain if opposing creatures have like life gain or anything like that. I think maze can like do a lot of bullshit on like both sides, like both on defense and offense, I think.
Absolutely. I love the sideboard as well. I'm going to do a quick run through of the cards because they're all very high impact, which I think is what you need to do when you're playing a deck like this. In the main deck, you have a very linear, clear plan of you are playing your creatures and you're attacking and you're aggressive. So there's 2 Mindbreak Traps, 3 Leyline of the Void, 2 Harmonic Sliver, 3 Chalice of the Void, 1 Unlicensed Hearse, and there's another one in the main, 2 Null Rods, and the 2 Maze of Ith we're talking about. It's just really hard-hitting cards like Mindbreak Trap, you're going to play against Storm. Lay Down in the Void, your graveyard deck's covered. Harmonic Sliver, like you can just blow up so many artifacts and enchantments. The Chalices, you either put them on 0 against like 8 cast or Storm or whatever, or 1. And yeah, just really, really hard hitting cards. I love it.
Yeah, that's basically like how you're supposed to construct a sideboard, right? Especially like a non-blue, non-concept decks. If you find your sideboard card, you want to make it really count, and you want to be like that big thing that your opponent has to overcome. And yeah, I'm a big subscriber to that deck building philosophy.
Yeah, it's a little strange to see like 2 Null in a Aether Vial deck. I gotta say, but maybe the matchup, like the 8 cost matchup's like so bad for the Sliver deck that it has to like abandon Aether Vial altogether. What do you guys think?
I could see it. Like we've also seen some kind of resurgence of like the Epic Storm and A&T where it helps quite a bit. So I guess it's one way to cover a couple of your bases. But yeah, the other while being turned off by it, can be quite annoying. But on the other hand, like against Storm, you don't rely that much on Otherwhile. Like you literally just Goldfish out, and Otherwhile takes like a turn away from the Goldfish. And yeah,
I think this is one of the times where it's like, I don't mind if I have both in my deck, and if you draw them both together, well, you have a Null Rod in play if you're turning your Aether Vial off, and it should be good. Yeah.
You know what I want to see? Like, I want to... You probably wouldn't bring in Harmonic Sliver against most like Storm combo decks, but I want to see a board state where you literally like you Aether Vial and Harmonic Sliver to kill, I don't know, some LED or something.
Response to the second LED.
Yeah. Like they have LED in play, they play Wishclaw Talisman and have like other stuff they want to do, and you're like, you know what, LED, get out here.
I'm pretty sure he's like Vialed in the Striking Sliver to like first strike down an opponent's whole board. Stuff like that, though.
I mean, Harmonic Slivers, I would assume that's mostly there for like Usa Saga tokens.
That's so insane.
Dude, that's
like you can even like kill
nuts.
Ursa Saga.
Like imagine like Harmonic Sliver and like this Hibernation Sliver, right? Like you gotta bounce all your stuff, you replay them, and like you get like so many triggers. Like that's crazy to me.
Gross.
Actually, let me look up the price of the deck on Goldfish. At least it should be there. Like, is this rather affordable? I mean, I see Wastelands, but like how
Wastelands,
players.
Caverns, and Vials are a bit as well.
Oh, it's Caverns are expensive.
Yeah.
They need to print more of those guys.
And Chalices. Also, you'll find like the Crystalline Slivers, the Hibernation Slivers, they're all like 5 to 10 euros each.
If you could maybe like look up those like plated slivers. I really want to know if this like one penny or like 5 pennies. You know that.
You know what? I bought some Dwarven Recruiters, and they are like £5 each.
Oh my goodness, dude.
They already started spiking, I guess. Yeah. So I looked it up. In paper, it's actually surprisingly cheap compared to the other decks in the top 8. It's like $1,200, which usually means like you can get it a little cheaper on card market. And especially like if you have, the Cavern of Souls is actually like it's almost like a quarter of the entire price. And then the sideboard is another quarter. Gale Rider Sliver is expensive, Crystalline Sliver is expensive, and Siphon Sliver. Actually, what the fuck? The Lifelink Sliver is like $10 each.
EDH. Like, Slivers are very popular for EDH.
It's always the answer.
The thing is, it's a cheap deck, but the only people that are going to play this are people that love Slivers, and they're going to have Slivers ready because they love Slivers. So I think go live your life, get a few more bits and pieces, and play Slivers in Legacy as well.
Oh, dude, I want to play this. This is gonna be my next most played deck. I had a Slivers deck in 2009. I still remember it had like pink sleeves, and I never ever played it in a single tournament, but I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I think 2 years ago I was quite high on the deck, and it is genuinely pretty good, and it has been for a long time. Like, it's cool little Slivers, but it actually hits really hard, and Daniel like continuously proves that it's got some oomph to it. And I was like really into it a couple of years ago, playing a bunch of leagues, and I ran into Bob Huang, and I beat him, I think. And then he messaged me after, like, what the fuck? And I was like, it's actually pretty good. You should give it a try. And then we went down a rabbit hole of, like, trying to tune Slivers and thinking it might be secretly good.
Dude, I remember we did an episode of this.
Did we?
I think it was like, it was like episode 60 something, and I think it was called like Bob likes Slivers or something.
Okay, I must have skipped that one.
Yeah, you know another card that I actually saw in Daniel's list on Twitter. Apparently he didn't play it in the tournament, but he had Homing Sliver in his deck. Does anybody know what Homing Sliver does?
Oh no, I think I need to know this one.
Absolutely.
So it's 2 and a red for a 2/2 Sliver.
Oh, and it's got Sliver Cycling.
Exactly. Each Sliver card in each player's hand has Sliver Cycling 3, so you can
nice.
paste 3.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we got the tutors out.
Imagine you could do that with elves. Like this card, one elf find any other. Actually, the elves are like kind of similar except for Visionary. And
there's one for wizards as well. Wizard cycling.
So should we like invest all our money in the wizards for now?
Yeah, easy.
Wizard cycling might be one of the weirdest abilities in Magic. Like nobody's aware of that.
Well, go and get your patron wizards. That card is crazy good.
That card is like every. I don't want to say beginners, like advanced beginners' favorite card because they see it. Yeah, that's the one where you can like tap to basically force spike something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that back in school when I played. Like there was this one guy, he was like in 5th grade and we were all like in 10th, 11th grade, and we were like these supposedly like really cool, strong Magic players, but we knew check shit. Like we didn't know anything.
You were like casting Crush of Worms off your guy's cradle.
Yeah, exactly. Like he asked us which format we played, and we were like, dude, what even is a format? And he told us like one of our cards was banned, and we made fun of him for like saying that, like, oh, you're gonna ban our cards, little man. Dude, that was like looking back, that was quite embarrassing. But anyway, like he played a Patron Wizard deck, and actually he wrecked us.
Oh, I bet. Patron Wizard's good against Timmy table decks. Holy shit.
Absolutely. Like you couldn't even understand how you're supposed to beat the card because also nobody like played removal, right?
I have such good memories of like tabletop Magic. I used to have like a blue-black control deck was my thing, and I had a Somnophore, which is like a 4-mana 2/2 flying. Whenever it hits your opponent, you tap one of their creatures. They don't untap as long as Somnophore stays in play, and none of us played removal, so it was just like hit you, that thing's dead. Hit you, that thing's dead. It was just straight up unbeatable. So good.
You literally made people cry. Like you could just like sit there and take out all of their creatures until they deck out.
I played like 10 Hand of Deaths as well. It was a really sick deck.
Like I don't want to play against Mr. Kelen anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of sweet tribal decks, let's move on. Here's another one, and this is like I put it down as fucking like Eli Goes to Town, like Eli Goings. What the fuck? This man, this Goblin Master, He's done it again.
So good with Goblins. Like, if you like, he streams a lot, so everyone go and check out his stream. He's like, this is his second showcase top 8 with Goblins, and he just does well in other events, and he's just consistently putting up 4-1s and 5-0s in leagues, and he has played this deck so damn much. Like, look at this sideboard, and if anyone else showed me a sideboard, I'd be like, oh, they're just playing like random one-offs and just things they like. Like, how the hell do you get to a 1 Opposition Agent, 1 Sudden Edict, 1 Magus of the Moon, 1 Fury, 1 Goblin Chain Whirler, 1 Chalice of the Void, 1 Surgical Extraction? But yeah, he's just like knows the numbers of things and tweaks and all his sideboard maps. He has a Patreon as well where he writes about everything. And he said today he's writing a sideboard map and he's almost got to more words than his current thesis. So he loves Goblins, I promise you.
Oh man,
Yeah, I think again we are looking at a 61 card main deck. This is a non-brainstorm, non-ponder deck, and it plays 61 main board and 15 sideboard.
He's been on 61 for years now.
For years, yeah, I kind of remember that. And he has some spicy cards as well in this list, right? Like
some, yeah,
a couple.
Enlighten us. Which card's like the least spicy one? Like Basic Mountain? I mean, that's already kind of spicy.
I was gonna say like Goblin Lackey, yeah, but like there's some cards in this deck. That's crazy. Vehicles.
Yeah, beat motherfucker.
Legacy.
So Unlicensed Hearse, he's got 2 of them, and he's got 2 Fable of the Mirror Breaker as well.
I think we should, at this point, should actually like explain what the cards do, because those, especially Unlicensed Hearse, right? That's going to be a big deal in Legacy going forward.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So Unlicensed Hearse, as I'm scrolling down, is an artifact. It's a vehicle. It's 2 colorless. And it crews for 2. Actually, I explained it the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to restart. So it's going to be an Unlicensed Hearse. It's an artifact, 2 colorless. You can tap it to exile 2 target cards from a single graveyard. And then, like that already, like you know, you can stop like Marktide and stuff. And then you can crew it for 2. And its power and toughness is going to be equal to the number of cards you have exiled with it. So if you used it once to exile 2, it's going to be a 2/2. Then after you've used it another time, it's going to be a 4/4, and so on. And Callum, I think the Lord Francis Cooper has actually had a pretty good way to explain this card. Can you remind me?
Yes, so in a chat with like London friends, someone asked, how come everyone's playing Unlicensed Hearse is main deck Graveyard Hate good in the format? And Francis replied, well, it's like a relic with like on top of a Tarmogoyf. It's like,
ooh, yeah. I like that. Yeah,
it's just a relic on a Tarmogoyf. And yeah, goddamn, this card hits hard. I gotta admit, like when we were going through spoilers or looking at it, it didn't jump out to me. Like it was asked about Painter, and my thought was, you kind of just want to have Solgai Lantern because I'm still not sure on Painter, but I was definitely like underrating the card, and I think it's like a lot of people might have as well. But the thing is, against like the Murktide decks and with Dragon Rage Chandler and stuff, and the speed they fill their graveyard, like stuff like Relic or one shots like Solgai Lantern just don't keep up. They can fill the graveyard so fast game with DLC. So this one like stays in play and keeps eating things, and eating 2 cards, it is at a pretty high rate. Yeah, so it's just like good disruption, and then it goes beep beep smash your face, and you're attacking with like a 10/10 plus.
You know, you should be writing flavor text.
Beep beep.
Yeah.
Oh man, is this like the animation when it comes into play on Magic Arena or something? Beep beep smash your face.
Have you got a license for that? Nope, it's an unlicensed one. Yeah, just like watching Eli. I was watching Eli go over his recap from the showcase, and I've watched streams of people playing it, and it just performs great. It just plays really well. You will notice in his deck he has 2 Ancient Tombs, and there's been a card that like Goblins has always wanted to play, but just doesn't play well because they didn't have a critical mass of cards to cast with it. There's always like the hands where you have like the Lackeys, Ammunition Expert and stuff. But now he's with the 2 Hearses and 2 Fable of the Mirror Breakers, which we'll talk about in a second as well. Both of them have 2 colorless pips in their casting cost, and I've seen Ancient Tomb be incredible in his deck as well. Like, I saw him play against Dredge, and he just has, like, turn 1 Hearse off Ancient Tomb and wins game 1.
Wait, gotta slow you down. You saw him play against what?
Dredge. In the challenge. Dredge is
in
alive.
2022?
Endurance doesn't exist,
he
guys,
went to,
leave
like,
it alone.
The museum or something?
Oh, poor Dredge, how the beautiful and mighty have fallen.
I mean, actually, I think it actually got a top 32 or something, or maybe even, like, top 16 in the showcase, so it's...
I can see it being
exists.
okay, because, like, I mean, it's got a... Yeah. Like, Endurance hasn't been played that much as when, like, Band Control was the biggest control deck, so I can see it, spiking here and there.
Yeah. I think the like a big upside of this license horse is like that it doesn't cost you any mana. Like I the first time I looked at this card, I was kind of like, okay, well, might be close to a scavenging ooze, you know, like it kind of grows, you know, exiles stuff, but it also is like a big mana sink, right? Like if you have like Guy's Cradle open, then you can do a bunch with it. But well, like having extra mod is really just like a luxury thing, I think, in Legacy, especially in like
It's almost like a little planeswalker, but you can activate it at instant speed. So it's like a permanent that comes down and it gets you some value over the course of the game, but like it interacts at favorable points for you. And then it's just got like two abilities: disruption or aggro. But like the aggro is really legit.
Yeah. Also, like it makes it real awkward for your Dragon Rage Chandler opponent. You know, if they attack you in like mid combat, you exile 2 cards and, you know, make those channels like once again, and then you kind of like block them with War Chiefs or
because they have to be attacking as well, don't
some
they?
other goblins. Yeah,
totally. I've seen some like at my store last night. A friend was playing Red Prison, and he had one in play that was really big, and is an infect opponent attacked with something, and he got to. You know the red channel land? It's like 4 mana, instant speed makes 2/1/1 goblins.
2/1/1s, yeah.
Instant speed, make 2 power, crew it, and then whatever. And I've seen people with Shark Typhoon like crew it out of nowhere as well.
Sick.
And so I guess with Vial, like if there's a Vial in play, you never know when it's getting crewed or when it's not. And
actually, this plays really well with Wild. We already saw it in Daniel Nunes deck as well, right? In the Slivers deck. Is this the future of Wild decks?
It's just great. I think we're going to see it in a lot of decks. I think I even saw it in like a Bant control deck or a blue-white-red control deck.
Just to like double check there, can I actually Wild this in?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought you meant like you get creatures into speed.
No, yeah, that's what I was going for. Just like for a second, I was like, actually, is it? No, it's artifact vehicle. It's not a creature on the stack or anywhere on the hand.
Yeah, I mean, that also might just look really stupid. Like
a vehicle coming in from a little vial.
Right.
Because all the other flavor things in Magic, like remove
like
sword and soulless one. Yeah, sure.
Or a lion sash.
They're okay.
Yeah, do you guys have any more thoughts on License Hurts? Because I think we're going to carry on seeing it as a big role player in Legacy from now on.
I really like this card. I like not only does it deal with Dragon Rage Chandler and Murktide Regent, like in a fair way, I want to say, like it doesn't like straight up like beat them. It's like it is fair move or like a fair tool you can have against those kind of decks, and also punishes like Uro decks to some extent. And I think like Uro again, like being the best thing you can do in like in a mid range or control deck. You know, like if you have like main board graveyard head, it doesn't really cost you like an extra slot for those decks. Like, you know, Horse can still attack. Like it's kind of like your DIY Murktide Regent after like a couple turns. I think it's a pretty good. Yeah. I think it's like overall for the format, I would say that's really like a good thing.
I can't get enough of this shit in Legacy. Like bring it on. Like give us so much more of this, because I'm very much of the opinion that all the degeneracy going on in Legacy, that has been going on in Legacy for the last, 5 or 10 years, like push back against heavily. Like show no mercy. Fuck this shit. This is literally hashtag fuck this shit. And that's why we get cards like Endurance, like Hearse, what have you. And I want to have more of that. I want to have way more of that. Cool. So anyway, by the way, shout out to Melty Man, who suggested the card in our chat when it was spoiled, and we were like, I don't know, man, could be something, I don't know, but yeah, this has made its presence known in Legacy.
Yeah, he straight away was calling it good, and we were like, no. I'm always very, very skeptical of new cards, and so I'm always like, it's not good, and then they come along and say, damn it, I'm dumb.
That's how you run a podcast. You're always skeptical of new cards.
Yeah.
I actually no. I want to remind people of episode 100. Anyway.
Yeah, nice.
Cool. So you already also mentioned, right? There's Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and that's another big card. We saw it in Goblins. It's I guess, Callum, you want to quickly explain what it does?
Yeah. So let's actually go on to the next deck, which is like other Goblins, and then we can talk about it there. So Eli was playing 2 Fable of the Mirror Breaker in his deck, and then we'll talk about the next deck, and then talk about it in the scope of both of them. Because I think it does like the same thing, obviously, but in like 2 different ways. So Dragon Stompy's been doing very well as well. So the top 8, Kelen Pastore, top 8'd, and he has 3 unlicensed Hearse in the main deck and 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And also just like to cement it now, Fury is like a 4 in this deck, and I think always will be. We also had Doctor of Time in 17th and XJ Cloud in 30th place. I know XJ has been tooting the horn of Hearse and Fable of the Mirror Breaker as well.
By the way, what is it with Death and Texas players always moving to Dragon Stompy? Like
It's
Phil
just
has done that as well. Like so
monocolor
many
decks.
of them.
Yeah, it's
Just
a curse.
Like
yeah.
Marius Hausmann has done that. Like it's I don't know.
curse.
There's some natural attraction there.
Oh, Maris shouldn't move on from Painter. It's the best. But
Yeah, that's her. What's his
digress.
on right now? I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we were talking about this card.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a enchantment saga for 2 colorless and 1 red, so 3 mana total. And when it ETBs, you create a Goblin Shaman creature token with whenever this creature attacks, you create a treasure token. The next chapter is you may discard up to 2 cards. If you do, you draw that many cards. And the third chapter is you exile this saga, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control. And the backside, we don't have it in the show notes, so I'm going to try and hope it's right. But it is a basically a Kiki Jiki, but you have to tap 1 mana and tap itself to copy something, and it doesn't have haste. So it's kind of like, yeah, you don't get to like copy something straight away. But this is another card where it looks decent, but I didn't expect it to be like a card that's played in Legacy as much as it is. But again, after seeing it being played, it just plays really smoothly and well. So first of all, you create the 2/2, and then it will be transforming in another couple of turns. So it's like 2 threats in one. So the 2/2, like attacking, creating a treasure token is really legit for these kind of decks. Goblins uses as a pretty high curve. You have mana sinks in like matrons and stuff. There's like a Rishton Port. You have Muxus to like ramp up to as well. It's a goblin, so it gets pumped by like War Chief and stuff. And Moonstompy as well can like have very mana hungry curves, and you just have a lot of high powered things to play out. You can hardcast your Furies, you have Shadow Skull Smashings, and also importantly for both decks, it just gives them some selection. Like discarding 2 cards and then drawing 2 cards can be huge in both of these decks. Like both of them hate flooding out, both of them hate getting mana screwed. Like I know it's pointing out the obvious. These decks don't have Ponders or Brainstorms or anything, so this effect has been like lacking in it. I saw a lot of people wanting to try and play Seasoned Pyromancer in Moonstompy because it also discards 2, then draws 2. But double red is so hard in this deck that's relying on City of Traitors and Ancient Tombs. So I think the Chapter 2 is actually maybe the biggest part of this card. And then flipping into a Kiki Jiki, like copying Furies or like Goblin Round Masters.
Oh my gosh,
no, go away, dude.
Copying Fury, I've seen it. It's absolutely nasty. It's as nasty as you think.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Like you kill everything. You can kill a Murktide with 2 Furies, probably. But
as you should.
Yeah.
You can even raise a Murktide with 2 Furies. Like,
yeah. So the cards that we've seen cut to make room for all these, like Fireflux Squad was a thing for a bit.
That was never really a card. I don't know. Like nobody can convince me that was actually a good card.
I think it was very good. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I thought it was legit. Like with the 4 Legion War Boss, 4 Goblin Rab Master, it was pretty legit. But
yeah, but you also had to pay like wasn't it like 4 or 5 mana? I think it was 5 even.
It's 4 mana, 3 in a red, and it's a 4/3 haste, and then you get to
haste.
polymorph a token.
Okay, yeah, true.
It is very good.
Apparently, it's not good enough anymore.
No, we've got Hearst and Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So yeah, Fable for me, it's the Goblin that makes treasure tokens and looting 2 cards and then threatening something else at the very end of it. It's just like 3 good effects that the deck wants. So yeah, another great card.
Right. It might
By the
be,
way,
I think this card is maybe a little embarrassing to play on turn 1, I want to say. Like, and I think on turn 1, you really want to, like, play those Blood Moons or Trinispheres or, I don't know, Chalice of the Void, like those kinds of cards. But, like, Fable seems like a nice follow-up, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a good, like a glue that holds the deck together. So you can, like, convert all those, like, useless Chromox maybe, like, later on, or, like, additional Chalice of the Voids, things like that. It kind of, like, make sure that you don't run out of gas. And I kind of like the Kikijiki side also in combination with like Rebel Masters, things like that as well. It's
absolutely. I think that's exactly the right way to put it. Like the glue that's holding it together. It's the card in the middle. Like it's a great top deck later as well, and you're just kind of happy to see it from turn 2 onwards, basically.
Yeah, this is almost like in a way it allows these decks to finally run Faithless Looting without actually feeling embarrassed for it.
Yes, yeah, and Chalice at the same time.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of embarrassment, all the props to Kelen Pastore here. He has 4 different artworks for Chromox in his deck. I don't even know there were 4 Chromox artworks.
He posts all his lists on Twitter like this, and a lot of decks are very mismatched and.
Yeah,
no
like,
comment.
There's also like 3 different Chalice of the Voids, dude. I almost threw up.
Oh yeah, that's how you do it. Awesome.
We've got a shout out to XJ Cloud who posted a picture which we should add in the show notes of. He's built Moonstompy, but every single card is different art. It's not your usual like, haha, I'm trying to be funny with different arts. they're all the crazy promo printings, and there's a Blood Moon that I hadn't even seen before, and like it's something. It's something.
Oh, dude, the Secret Layer one?
Yeah.
Dude, that one is so sick. Oh my gosh, I'm here for it. Seriously. I unfortunately, it only exists in foil, I believe. But,
okay.
But I think the artwork just like, dude, it kicks ass. It kicks ass.
So go check out the show notes and see this monstrosity. The art's cool, but it doesn't really like a magic card.
Yeah, but make sure, that don't stare directly at it. Just like from the corner of your eye and take a glimpse. That
Really
I think that's what doctors recommend.
Yeah.
I don't know if doctors ever recommend looking at it, but you get the idea. Cool. So these are the most interesting lists, I want to say, but there's a couple more lists, and we've picked out two more that we want to talk about today. I think more quickly than on the previous ones, and one of them is 12th place 7991 Osier or Okier.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how the parents decided on the name. It's like, oh yeah, it's so easy. It's like Elon Musk's, I don't even know if it's daughter or son, I don't know, child. And this one is Blue-Red Delver, but they are doing exactly what Callum was talking about. That's adding Letter Shredder to Blue-Red Delver, but we are also playing Murktide. So we are really just like cutting all the extra stuff. Like we cut a bunch of like Mishra's Baubles, we cut some like the Chain Lightning that people sometimes play. We cut down on one of the Murktides, and I guess that's already like 3 slots, right, to add the Letter Shredder to Blue-Red Delver. And they got, I think it's 12th place. Yeah, like pretty close to top 8.
This is where Mishra's Bauble doesn't look like the cut to me. Like if you're playing 4 channelers and 3 shredders, like you want the baubles, I think. But I don't know what else you cut. Like
The main deck Pyroblast, I guess, but those are so good.
I think you'd have to cut the Delvers probably. Like that's the only thing I can see.
Are we back to that again? Oh my god.
Dude. I was kind of like saying the same thing, but like I think Vicious Bulb is just like way too important with Strong Red Chandler, Murktide, and Letter Shredder.
Yeah.
This is like when you talk about a relationship and they're like, oh, we are back to seeing other people again. Dude, this is not working. But like, oh, honey, shouldn't we like cut the Delvers again? There's this new Letter Shredder living around, the door. And...
But if we're saying that we want to play Letter Shredder in this deck, Delver is just the worst card in the rest of the deck. You have DRC, you have Murktide, Iteration, Ponder, Brainstorm, Daze, Force Will, Lightning Bolt, Pyroblast. Delver's just it's not like it's not the thing where you like I'm cutting Delver because I'm a control deck. It's cutting Delver because it's actually the worst card in the deck. But I would prefer to play more 1-drops than 4 Dragon Range Channelers, so I would keep the Delvers.
Oh, you're saying you would play like all the 1-drops as opposed to like 4 Letter Shredder?
Yeah, I think 8 1-drops is the really good place for Delver. Yeah. If I was playing Delver, I would just play 4 Delver, 4 DRC, 4 Murktide. And 1 Borrower. I
was a little surprised about the 19th, 19 land count. It's a little high, I would say. Like I don't know if you can.
The 19th is the Mystic Sanctuary. Makes some sense there.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually they do the 18, but the Mystic Sanctuary, like I've always been critical of the card, but ever since I've started playing Blue-Red Delver, that's the deck where I felt like I got the most value out of it, of any Mystic Sanctuary deck ever, just because you get like additional uses of Expressive Duration, and like even in the mid game, you will sometimes like Daze for -1 card advantage, but like a little bit of tempo, and that Daze is going to give you back the Mystic Sanctuary, and then it's worth it again.
You do need to build around it, but like when you have stuff like Price of Progress or Meltdown in your deck, it's pretty heavy hitting.
Oh my god! I just figured out who Osier is. Osier is actually the half brother of Marcus Ewald, because there's 1 mission briefing in the.
I was just gonna talk about this card. Like I think this deck. I don't know what the sideboarding plans are, but this deck might want to transform into like a more like a control deck, maybe a post sideboard. Like Mission Breathing is damn. Have you? I don't think we have all like seen this card in like ages. It's so good with Letter Shredder because it literally casts a second spell after that, right?
I've only ever seen it in High Tide or Mill for like archive traps.
Yeah, this is sort of like a real like evolved deck.
Totally.
Yeah. I was just wondering whether like there's supposed to be a Snapcaster Mage, and I'm aware that I'm like at this point advocating for Snapcaster Mage in the sideboard, which is like it's so bad I almost want to print it on a t-shirt because I hate the kind of deck building that leads to Snapcaster Mage in the sideboard. But anyway.
You see, Julian, maybe you don't understand it properly, but you play good instants and sorceries.
I know. That's a big upside, right? You have Delver, you have Murktide, whatever. Anyway, but I honestly, I'm not sure whether we will continue to see Letter Shredder and Legacy unless something changes. But the card is certainly like It's not unplayable. That's the best way I can put it.
These are our quotes for the 200th episode where we're like trying to embarrass ourselves. But Legend Trailers destroy Legacy. I think it's good, but I don't think we'll see a ton of it in the future. But it is decent.
Awesome. And among all the madness that's going on in the Showcase Challenge, now we have like Javier Dominguez, Talai, and Makuto86, and they're like driving around in their Yorion Esper Cephalid Breakfast.
Hell yes. This is
yes.
my
Yes.
world champion. I love it. I love Javier. He's just because as far as I know, he made breakfast back in the day.
He did.
And
Like, who cares about world championships when you can make Cephalid breakfast?
Exactly. And he just loves it. Like, that's his whole thing. And goddamn, he loves it and plays it well.
I just can't get that image out of my head where like there's like slivers and goblins and all the bullshit going on, and there's Javier like in a car and like, he keeps honking and having a good time just the way he is, right? And he's just doing that thing. He's like, oh yeah, Yorion, sure, I got that as well.
Yorion Cephalid
Like Marius lost it when I sent him the list. Like he couldn't believe that this deck is playing Yorion.
Yeah, have you like ever had a Legacy Showcase challenge with like this many Ether Vials in the top 8? I don't think so. It's like more Ether Vials in the top 8 than Force Wills. That's crazy. That's absolute like. Also,
that's true.
Right? That's like, yeah, dude, Ether Vial for life.
Holy moly.
Actually, I'm not even sure if it's true, but it could be pretty close. Oh man, yeah. This, I guess we can very quickly explain what the Cephalid Breakfast combo does, because
definitely.
that didn't really exist for a long time, and then I think almost Javier single-handedly brought it back. Right? He's been trying to make it a thing in Legacy again for a year or something. So the idea is that you get Cephalid Illusionist, and that's just like a random creature. It has ability that doesn't really matter. It's like a Maze of Ith ability. But whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you mill yourself for 3. And then, you have Nomads and Core, which redirect damage from another creature to themselves. I don't even remember, but the activated ability costs 0. So you can activate it any number of times, target your Cephalid Illusionist any number of times, and mill your entire deck. You also have Shuko, which is an equipment that also equips for 0, so you can also like equip on the Cephalid Illusionist to mill yourself. And from there, actually let me look this up this way. Okay, yeah, it's so much easier these days, because in the past we used Necromurba and stuff, but now we literally only have Dread Return and Thassa's Oracle in the graveyard. And okay, we still have Necromurbas. Okay, that's fair. If we don't have enough creatures, we can still like trigger those. But a lot of times you don't even need to do that. But yeah, that's a thing. And
this deck is playing like Strixes, Stoneforge Mystics, and like Recruit of the Guards. So you often have like a bunch of idiots on board.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Well, random 1/1s and 1/2s. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
What's cool?
Just love the deck.
So what's cool about the combo is there's one Cabal Therapy in there. So you'll mill your whole deck and have access to that. And so you cast the Cabal Therapy. If people are relying on Endurance like heavily as their graveyard hate, this deck very cleanly beats it by you cast the Cabal Therapy.
Well, I wouldn't say very cleanly.
I think so. You cast the Cabal...
Okay, go on.
Yeah, you cast the Cabal Therapy, you name Endurance. If the Endurance you're in response, then you just mill your whole deck again.
How do you mill your whole deck? Like Endurance? Because it's on the bottom of the library. I'm so stupid. I should be a creature in this deck.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Good save.
I was like, okay, come on, Kelen, keep going. And then everything is an extra. No, to the bottom of the deck, you just do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
I might actually. Oh my god, I might have actually lost a game against this because I didn't even think about that.
Dun, dun, dun. So
this is so smart.
This is also so many clicks on Magic Online, damn.
Yeah,
it's like an 80 card deck, yeah.
This is absolutely worth it, right?
Yeah. So that one little Cabal Therapy, like, again, people really are relying on Endurance. So, yeah, it's nice. I love that, so Yorion is just this, like, pretty good backup plan for any deck that has Aether Vial in the deck. And so it also plays 4 Baleful Strix. It has 3 Recruiter of the Guard. There's like a Skyclave Apparition, a Solitude, Stoneforge Mystics. Interestingly, he's just playing a Batterskull and no Cauldron Complete. There's not even one on the sideboard. So he's just saying, he's using the Stoneforges to, I think, prolong the game to get into positions where he can combo, rather than saying, I'm going to beat you with Stoneforge Mystic. Sometimes Batterskull probably goes that way. Like, I've definitely seen things where Batterskull goes on Narcomoebas and you play this crazy scrappy game and stuff, but yeah.
Oh, man.
A little surprised to also like not seeing Umezawa's GT, because like this deck has so many like mediocre small creatures that could like hold a GT very nicely, but
yeah, the age of GT is over.
Yeah, but a lot of creatures do have ETB effects, and I kind of like the singleton like Otawara Soaring
Yeah.
City in the main board. Kind of goes like really nicely with Recruiter of the Gods and like Baleful Strix and Stopwatch Mystics and so on and so forth. That's
And
really
there's
cool.
an Unearth in there as well.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
that's even like a random kill that you can put with Thassa's Oracle, right?
Yeah, so I was looking. I thought with the Unearth in there, I thought there would be a Spellseeker, because you can go really deep and get Spellseeker of Recruiter and Spellseeker for either the Cabal Therapy or the one Prismatic Ending or the Unearth. But I think from what I can see, Unearth is just like a generically pretty good card to have. Yeah, if you're discarding a bunch of things.
I'm just like trying to come up with a way, but you also can't like flash it back in any way. So I guess it's just like value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool with Glasspool Mimic. Like Glasspool Mimic, you can play like as a land, or it's a clone. It comes in as something. If your land gets wastelanded, you unearth it.
Wait, you can literally unearth a land back when you target Glasspool Mimic?
No,
That's
no.
actually insane.
Glasspool Mimic is one of those double-sided cards.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going for. So,
But you don't get the land, sadly. But
wait, you don't get the land side of it?
No, it's a creature on the front. So if you unearth it, you'd get the clone.
Oh, okay. Now I gotcha. Oh my god, I should stream this. Like, people would have so much fun because I'd be missing everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, this is cool.
Awesome.
This is
So-
really cool.
Both Javier and Makato86, like they were playing both Yorion, and they both did really well. I think I saw someone say they went like a combined 20 something and 4. Maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe it's like 18.
Actually, let me check that. You guys keep going.
Yeah.
That's
But
pretty good.
yeah, this is the first time I've seen Yorion as well. Oh my god, there's a Soul Herder in the sideboard as well.
Yeah, like the deck kind of like looks like as if it could like transform into an Esper. How's it called? Like Esper Vile deck
Esper Vile, exactly,
of some sort, right? Like if you get rid of a couple of combo pieces here and there, you can pretty much tune this deck to be like a efficient like Esper mid range kind of deck with Yorion just like a bunch of ATB triggers and like Battle Skull taken over. But again, I'm kind of missing the Umus Javas GT here. But again, I didn't finish second.
Yeah.
No,
You're not the world champion.
Sixth. No, I know. I dude, I'm literally a nobody. So this deck is pretty cool. It plays a bunch of duels too. Like it plays the full set of Tundra Underground Sea in a single scrubland. So if you want to build the second paper, it might be a little costly, but otherwise, it's overall a pretty cool deck. I do like decks that have like multiple game plans to it. Like a combo finish, a mid range value plan, also like aggressive plan with like maybe like a somewhat fast Battle Skull, maybe backed up with like counter magic and removal. This deck can do like a bunch of stuff, and I really appreciate this kind of decks. And again, I'm looking at this, what's the vehicle again? The unlicensed Hearse, and that card could also be pretty decent in this deck. But again, maybe there are no slots left.
An unlicensed Hearse in play, this deck would have to Skyclave Apparition it or Prismatic Ending it. Otherwise, like it'll buy a lot of time. That's not like endurance. What I also just did notice is they very commonly played 4 Cavernous Souls, and there's none in this list. So maybe that's like a 60-80. 80 is the grindy one, 60 is the more combo focused one. But
oh yeah, that could be the case. Yeah.
By the way, I'm just back. I looked it up. So Cephalid Breakfast when I combined 13 and 4 on the weekend.
13. Not 26 then. Just half.
Yeah. it's still
Still very
it's like the highest win percentage of the entire weekend, but I mean,
Pretty
yeah,
good.
it's just like 2 players, but still.
Sick. Absolutely sick.
I'm just looking up like the worst card. Like it's funny to look at the numbers when they don't really mean anything, because it's just like sample size is like literally 1, and then there's like one person who went like 08.
That was me.
Okay,
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have all the secret names, right? That's another thing that's going on. Like people making secret accounts. It happens every now and then. It's funny.
Right. But I think like overall, this showcase challenge might have been just like a roller coaster of like pairings, like overall, right? Like maybe this Esper, deck played against like the Goblins opponent before, or played against, or lost maybe against Slivers or what have you. Like there might have been like a lot of like weird matchups you usually don't see in Legacy all that often.
Mm-hmm.
And I think overall that's like a really exciting thing to me, at least. Like seeing like all sorts of like different cards like like bashing together, and
Yeah, I'm going down the bottom things now. There's lands, there's like band control or 4-color control. There's a bunch of Wandering Emperors as well, which is kind of cool.
That's another card, right? When we previewed it, I thought maybe, a Flash Planeswalker that immediately activates. There must be a place for it in Legacy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of happy that it sees play because it's kind of like a cool card, but also not crazy overpowered.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just good because it's not blue and it like pumps out tokens and stuff. It's cool. Oh my God.
It's basically like when we talked about that's what's it called? Sovereign. The enchantment that we talked about like a year ago, where I was like, you know what, this could be a thing for 4 mana that has landfall, make 2/2 creatures.
Oh yeah. And is it?
Somebody must remember it. I'm actually going to look up.
I know what you mean. Okay, I've lost it. I can't remember. You know what's crazy about this challenge as well? I've never seen this before. They always used to post the top 16s for showcase challenges, but they've done top 32 for this time. That's cool.
Nice. Yeah, real nice. It's always like, when you finish like 17th or so, you feel really bad about yourself because you might have a decent record, right? Like X2 or X3 maybe. And it's always the 17th player and sometimes even like the 9th player, like sometimes, if the only topic gets posted, it's like, it feels so...
Just like so much better information, right?
Right.
And that's also like what we really appreciate. Like a lot of the information that we're talking about on the podcast, that's coming from Walrod XP's Joe Dyer's group of everybody like running the legacy data collection project.
Dude,
and
those guys kick
like
freaking ass. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the enchantment's called Felidar Retreat. That's the one. Yeah. That Planeswalker is just like a much better version of that.
Yeah.
Cool. So guys, I hope the madness is gonna continue because this is exactly the kind of legacy I want to see, right? Where people just like brew and top some big tournament with it and come out ahead and everybody has like a good time about it. I want to be a Slivers boy now. I want to go back to my Sliver days.
You're all going to see some Slivers and Goblins in the leagues now.
Kai, what are you actually playing in Legacy when you get to play outside of like Berlin?
So I'm gonna go to the first Berlin Legacy tournament tomorrow. I'm gonna sleeve up something. It's probably gonna start with 4 underground season, brainstorm some ponders, and maybe even some doomsday.
That's our Kai.
That's your boy. Just doing his thing. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens. But I'm also like pretty excited about other formats as well. Like, Commander, Standard, Modern, Vintage, just like really anything because like Magic overall is like a super fun game to play and yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, you gotta tell us about how your tournament went then.
We've got our monthly on Sunday. So I was like dead set on playing Bug Dwarves and I've ordered like half the deck. I think I'm gonna still go for it, but now I've fallen in love with this Asmo deck idea. So I don't know. I really don't know. I've got like Asmos and loads of stupid artifacts sitting on my desk everywhere. Like
so many crazy ideas and not enough tournaments to put them into action. Yeah.
So
that's the best way. Like it's always bad when it's the other way around.
I think I'm gonna do Dwarf Bugs because I don't have half the cards and I can proxy it. Our monthlies, but not our weeklies. There
cool.
Makes sense.
Guys, I'm really excited to hear.
I'm going to come back and like, your boy went 1-6.
I want to hear our boy breaking metagame.
Yeah.
Yeah, second of God, we will see. Awesome.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you want to support the madness that's going on here and like support our format breaking habits, you can support us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out a lot. Just like spread the word, let people know about this crazy little podcast that's going on here. Or if you want, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Join the podcast Discord. No, not the podcast immediately. that's the highest secret here that Kai somehow found. No. And yeah, that's another way to keep the lights on here. And with that, I want to give shout outs to everybody. Eternal Witness here, Tommy Hanks, Testacular, Sebastian Hollager, Guillaume, Hannah Valve, Colin Garassi, Severin Schwarzhuber, and Grizzlebrand here, Victor Benatz, Baju Butt, Scott Monroe, Jeremy Gates, Henrik Korkutz, Tom Happ, and Paragon Games in St. Louis. If you want to find us, we are at Eternal MTG on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on at itsjulian23 on Twitter and it's Julian on Twitch. Kai, where can people find you?
I'm Salatarix on most social media platforms like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and so on and so forth.
LinkedIn.
And my homepage, salatarix.com.
That's dude, that's perfect. Callum, where can people find you other than at your local tomorrow?
At Callum Smith MTG on Twitter is the best place.
Awesome. So with that's gonna be it from us today. And seriously, guys, I'm excited to hear how your tournaments went next time.
So many dwarfs and bugs.
Awesome. See you, everybody. Bye bye.
See you, everyone.